Istanbul, the world's best located city. Constantinople, or Istanbul as it's known today, a city rich in history that once challenged Rome as the world's epicenter of trade and commerce. Over 120 emperors and sultans have ruled over the city throughout the centuries. And for good reason. Istanbul is the only city in the world to span two continents, Europe and Asia. It is literally the gateway from the west to the east. Much of Turkey is in Asia, about 97% in fact. However, the 3% in Europe accounts for 10% of Turkey's total population. Istanbul is one of the world's biggest cities with over 15 million people. The city is split, with roughly 9 million living on the European side. This unique location has made the city a hub of international trade and finance since the Roman Empire. Istanbul is separated by the Bosphorus Strait, which is a stretch of water joining the Black Sea to the north with the Mediterranean Sea to the south. 3 suspension bridges connect the European and Asian sides of Istanbul. It's an incredible feeling for any visitor to Istanbul to look out from one side of the city to the other and realise that you're facing a completely different continent. The history of the city becomes immediately apparent. Constantinople was a capital city for 3 global empires: Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman. Not surprisingly, this has resulted in Istanbul becoming a culturally diverse city with religious freedom. Jewish, Christian, and Muslim buildings and businesses are scattered throughout the city, along with a myriad of restaurants, stores, and markets that each represent a specific part of the city's history. It's not uncommon to see an Armenian mosque standing right next to a synagogue or church. Because from the start, Constantinople was an international city. It was first settled by the Greek ruler Byzas in the 7th century BC. The Greeks realized the strategic value of the area's harbour that linked 2 seas. The new city was named Byzantium. Control of the city alternated throughout the next few hundred years, with Persians, Athenians, and Macedonians all fighting for ownership. It eventually became part of the Roman Empire in around 70 BC. Under Roman rule, trading routes were established with goods from Asia, Africa, and Europe all converging into the Byzantium marketplace. In 324 AD, Constantine I became the sole emperor of Rome, and he was quick to announce Byzantium as the new capital of the Byzantine Empire. Constantine changed the city name to Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire was to flourish for a remarkable 1,000 years, from antiquity through the medieval period until the 15th century. By the mid-6th century, Constantinople had overtaken Rome in terms of both population and importance. The city now housed around 500,000 people, making it the largest city in the ancient world. Constantinople was the hub for a plethora of goods coming from Europe, Asia, and up from Africa. Traders from Venice and Genoa brought wheat, wool, and precious metals. Many of these goods originated from Northern Europe and made their way down to Italian merchants for shipping to the east. Russian traders sold caviar, fish, fur, and leather goods. Constantinople thrived for centuries. It became home to merchants and their families from Russia, Persia, Greece, and Syria. The city was renowned for its wealth and gold reserves and was continually under threat from forces, especially the Ottoman armies. Finally, in 1451, Mehmed II came to rule over the Ottoman Empire. He was determined to conquer Constantinople and now had the power to do so. His army was far superior in numbers, and he had innovations such as wall-scaling towers and gunpowder that were to prove too much for the Byzantine defences. In 1453, Constantinople fell and was placed under Ottoman rule. This meant the construction of Muslim mosques, although Mehmed allowed religious freedom. Many churches and synagogues were spared. This is a telling feature of Istanbul today, as the streets are lined with buildings representing various periods of rule over the city. When Mehmed took over, the population was dwindling, and he was swift to encourage Ottomans to migrate to the capital. A period of rebuilding and modernizing ensued, and Constantinople began to grow again. In 1455, the Grand Bazaar was built, and the huge enclosed market remains one of the world's most visited sites today. Constantinople remained the capital of the Ottoman Empire right up until the end of World War I, when the empire collapsed. Allied forces took over the city, and in 1923 Turkey became a republic. The capital was relocated to Ankara, and Constantinople was renamed Istanbul. The population gradually recovered from the war, and by the end of the 20th century, Istanbul had 10 million people. Istanbul continues to act as an economical and cultural centre. Gas distribution infrastructure has made Turkey a gas hub for European importers of gas from Russia and China. Istanbul has become a centre for multinational companies manufacturing due to its gateway location. A strong service sector featuring finance, healthcare, transport, education, retail and tourism also accounts for a vibrant economy. In the modern world, it continues to act as an economic and cultural hub. Istanbul was instrumental in bringing civilizations together. Istanbul is the world's truly unique gateway city.